Yes, it is time for the Creator Town Hall here on Studio Live today. And you know what it is? It's release day for my Songtember song. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about live music shows. We're going to talk about promoting your music and a whole lot more. Let's kick in. Creator Town Hall is happening right now. Because we're all just a work in progress. Nobody's got it figured out. Yes, we're all just a work in progress. Nobody's got it figured out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world if you're joining live. If you're watching on the replay, I hope you're having a good one. This is 1 hour, although today it's going to be about 55 minutes because I'm going to be on mic over at Creative Source and Featured Artist Live immediately following this show. More about that later. Yes, it is the end of September. It is September the 30th at 8:31 p.m. here in Australia, so it couldn't be more the end of September, which means tomorrow is October and Songtember is over. That rhymes, and you know that rhymes. But the cool thing is, if you are still working on your song, you still got yourself another about 24 hours. If you're in the US or Canada or the UK, use those time zones, people. Give yourself a little bit of extra leeway to get that completed, and you'll be good to go. We will talk about Songtember, but what you may have noticed, or maybe you haven't, because it kind of looks the same to you, but it doesn't really look the same to me, and that is that we've had ourselves a studio refresh. We've changed some things around here. I've got my layout here so much nicer, and I just wanted to mention this because it's something that can give you, if you are getting to the end of this month, or if you're starting your creative month next month, and you're like, I just need to get myself some mental clarity. Nothing can be better sometimes than actually just starting from scratch. It's a bit like a mix. When you're mixing a song, sometimes a faders down remix is exactly what you need. You just put everything to zero and then bring it all back up. So you know what I did here today in the studio? I put everything to zero and I brought it all back up. And you know what? If I was a smart man, I would actually grab my phone here and give you a little behind the scenes look. In fact, I'm going to do that. You know what? Let's just do it, because why not? Because I can do that. I can. I'll just hide a few things out of here. I'll just hide some of my shame, which is my beverage there and my mask, and we'll and my wallet and keys, and I'll grab StreamYard. Oh, that was interesting. I'll hold my phone a little further away and I'll go to StreamYard and we'll add a second camera here and we'll jump on into the stream here and I'll show you what I've done here. It doesn't look that much different, but it's just given me a little extra space. While I get this set up, g'day to the folks who are here live. I hope you're doing well. We have Lil Lost Boy. And there you go. Just did the same thing. Great stuff. Hello to Sanjeev. Jade Star has finished everything. I can't believe it's not butter. And I can't believe Jade Star's finished everything. Deep Gravity's here. Yes, Andy, it's a civilized time. Hello to Guzzo. Who else have I missed here? Gregory O'Sullivan over there in Melbourne town. Power, solidarity, all that sort of stuff for my folks in Melbourne. Joe Glenn is here. Hello to you. I hope you are doing well. Angie Fan, hello to you as well. And I think I saw Mimo Japan sneak on in there as well. Yes, there you are, Mimo Japan. I hope you are well. All right, let's jump in here with this other camera, and I'll just give you a quick sneak peek because why not? We'll enter the studio here. All right, what have we got going on? Oh, that didn't work at all. Oh, we're not in Safari. So this is the problem. I'm using StreamYard here still, but I am considering, I've actually signed back up to Restream on the advice of the likes of Jade Star and others. I love StreamYard and I've been using StreamYard for a long time, but I have no affiliation with StreamYard. So I'm going to play the field, so to speak, and check out some other options. There's things like Melon, there's things like Restream, and I'm just seeing if there's something. The one thing that StreamYard doesn't do is you can't set up templates, you can't copy over things from one stream to another, so I'm just going to try something a little bit different. All right, we're gonna grab this one here, and we're going to spin this around. We're going to go to the back camera here, so that you're not looking at my face at a weird angle. There's our back camera, and we are going to enter the studio, and then you're going to be able to take a little bit of a look behind the scenes here with me now. So we'll jump on in. Here's my camera too. Woo, there it is. We'll just turn the volume down. There you go. It's still going to play a little bit of volume here, but we're going to have to deal with that. So we'll come over to this view here. So here's what we've got going on in the studio. I'll just run you through. We'll remove that rag. I'll run you through what I've got set up. So there we are now. getting Inception-y. So the reason I've got it set up like this now is I've got a lot more room here. I've got my second screen over here. I'm using this one here. This is my Zoom Live Track L8 that I use for my live streaming, as you'd be aware if you've been around the channel for a while. My Mac Mini is under there at the moment. The cabling needs to be cleaned up tomorrow. I'm also using that. So the good thing about a Mac, I'm using the Mac Mini M1, is that I can have the Focusrite Scarlett.
I couldn't hear what you said.
I wasn't talking to you, Siri. I've got the Mac Mini M1 there. As soon as I mention Apple stuff, Siri's like, me? So I've got the audio interface there, my old Focusrite Scarlett, as well as the Zoom Live Track there. I've got my PreSonus era speakers there. And then we've got my iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard there. There's my Logitech Brio up the top there, which is doing duty as the camera. And my microphone at the front here.
There's the view.
There's the view that I have here. So it's a nice look because I've got my monitor speakers. Yeah, they are too low. I need some stands for the monitor speakers to make them up where they should be. But yeah, it's a nice setup. And over here, I've got like my Apollo rig there that's going in there. I've got my 10 DAC powered USB hub. It's all come together nicely. Yeah, so I think it's going to be working for me. It's a little bit. It's still not clean. It's still not exactly where I need it to be. We'll just close out of that one so that we don't have that. Still not exactly where I need it to be, but it's on the right track. And having a bit of a studio refresh can really help you. Now, I did bury the lead on this one, but this show tonight is brought to you by the Studio Gear Guide, because of course it is. That's over at studiolivetoday.com/gear. So if you are in the market for any of your own studio gear, you can come in here and we've got a bunch of links. So the mouse is being a pain in the butt here. We've got a bunch of links there to Amazon, Sweetwater, eBay, and Thomann, and then we've got my current setup. So all the gear that I've got set up here, that's listed here, and then I've got all of the audio interfaces, microphones, and all the other bits and pieces that I currently use and have used in the past and recommend. So nothing on here hasn't been used by either me or people I trust, or both. So if you're looking for gear for your home studio, you can do that. So why not give your studio a wee refresh yourself? You'll probably feel better for it afterwards. Let's talk Songtember, shall we? Because I did show my new song is out and available now, and it's gone further on now. There's a problem. You play things in the background here on YouTube, and then they continue on. But this one here, work in progress, and we've been creating this here in the studio throughout the month, and it's now available on all platforms. Spotify is the only one I can't find it on yet, but it's on Apple Music, it's on iTunes, it's on YouTube Music, and of course it's right here on YouTube. So if you want to check it out, you can check the hyperlink down below, or you can just search Work in Progress Pete Johns at whatever platform you listen to music. But let's talk Songtember for a minute, because if you're not aware of Songtember, it is our Song in a Month challenge here on Studio Live Today. It is the last day, so if you're new to the channel and you're just missing out on it, don't worry, we do it every year. We've had a lot of folks who have completed songs. Folks like Jade and Thomas have completed entire EPs. A lot of people have got there. Some people haven't. And I wanted to pause here to just say, the purpose of Songtember is to have more people creating more music. And it won't always work that way. The other main purpose of Songtember is to join together, to have the camaraderie, to have the friendship, and to have the community, and to have fun. I say this every week on the Creator Town Hall, but if you're a creator and you're creating and it's hard yakka and it's hard work, and look, sometimes it is, but if you're not having fun, if it feels like work, if it feels like you're always hitting your head against a wall, maybe it's not for you. Maybe you need to go play a video game. Maybe you need to go drink a coffee. Maybe you need to go for a walk down by the park. Maybe you need to do something different. Maybe not forever, but maybe for now. And what we found is through Songtember, some folks' life have got in the way. Through health, through work commitments, through family commitments, life gets in the way. But you know what? If through participating in Songtember, you've heard a cool tune that's inspired you, you've been able to provide feedback to someone else's music to help them out, or you've been able to participate in someone else's song, like the cool people who have sung on my song, or even if you've just got your song a little further along than you would have if it wasn't for it, I say that's a win. So that's the 2 cents I wanted to put out there. That I know I talk about things like positive time pressure and making sure that, you want to make sure that you plan things out and get things done. That's great. Sometimes it just doesn't work. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. You just need to reload and try it all again. Try Rocktober. If Songtember doesn't work for you, try Rocktober. Have a beverage. And let's move on. Yep, have a red wine and relax, exactly. Or a cup of tea. Hard tea. Because it's my nighttime show. And I got to talk to Mike over at Creative Source next. So need to prepare for that. Should we talk iOS 13? No, because it's iOS 15. Should we talk iOS 15? Yeah, we should. So iOS 15 is out now. If you have an iPhone or an iPad or any iDevice, you can use it. Here's the Cliff Notes version of it. There's not much new. If you're on iOS 14.8 and you don't really feel like going to iOS 15, don't break your neck to get over there, because you're not going to find a whole lot different over on iOS 15. So there's that. If you want to update, you can do on any device that's been supported on iOS 13 and 14 will be available for iOS 15. So we're talking iPhone-wise, we're talking iPhone 6S and above. iPad is iPad Air 2 and above, iPad Pro, any of them, and the iPad Touch 7th generation. So if you're rocking one of those or something more modern, then you can go ahead and update. Now, of course, all of the new devices, such as the iPad sitting on the shelf behind me there, they are all being shipped with iOS 15. And yeah, look, it's fine. It's got a few extra things. I kind of like the focus mode. So it's like Do Not Disturb on steroids. You can set a whole bunch of other Do Not Disturb things. And considering I'm someone, despite the fact that I'm a YouTuber, a YouTube content creator, I should be telling you to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell and have all your notifications turned on. Guess how many notifications I have turned on? Goose egg, nothing. Even my favorite channels, my favorite apps, my favorite things. Why? Because if I'm sitting down and doing an hour of solid focus work, whether it's creating music, creating a video, writing a script, processing emails, paying frickin' bills, I don't want it to be bing, someone said something, bing, Mike at Creative Source released a new video, you better go watch it, bing. I don't need the bings, or the, there you go. I could have used that bing. So I don't need that, and you probably don't either. So things like focus mode are pretty cool. But again, the number one thing is, it's kind of like the if it ain't broke kind of thing. If you're in the middle of a big project, the last thing you want to do is update operating system, update firmware, update version. So many people have come to me with problems. So there's been a few issues. There's been some AUV3 plugins and some inter-app audio type issues. I think someone was telling me that Core Gadget, some of the gadgets were not playing nicely. I don't really use Core Gadget, so I don't know the details of that one. And the other one was Focusrite Scarlett. So you would have seen there, I've got my Scarlett 2i2, like the OG Gen 1, that is apparently having some issues in iOS 15. There are some workarounds, so I mentioned this in the GarageBand Weekly show, but our buddy Frederick King over at the iPhone Musician page worked out one workaround, which is that you can plug it into a Mac or a PC and update the firmware. That can help with iOS 15 compatibility. So like most things, check your drivers, check your firmware. There's some good things to check out. And someone else, and I'm not going to be able to credit you, so put it in the comments of who you were, because I forgot. They mentioned that they read the manual and, it was someone who Facebook messaged me. I apologize, I'm spacing on your name. But if you hold down the 48 volt button for 5 seconds, it switches it from mass storage mode into USB interface mode. And I had no idea about this. And I don't want to try it now because I'm in the middle of a live stream, so it might break something. But that's a pretty cool thing. They said, I decided to RTFM. And guess what? It told me that if it gets stuck in mass storage mode, just do this. And it flicks it back to interface mode. Why an interface needs to ever be in mass storage mode, I don't really know. It's a bit weird. Anyway, hello Sunray, who's dropped on in, by the way. Hello Probably Spider. I thought Probably Spider, Prod by Spider. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. And anyone else that I have missed, I hope you are doing well as well. Let's continue on. I don't know if it's later in Australia. It is 8:44 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. And yes, we are one of the few places in the world that use a half-hour time zone. We're Greenwich Mean Time minus 9.5, or is it plus 9.5? I never remember. Anyway, new Apple Macs. So as I struggle with my mouse using the USB driver, and yes, I have tried it on Bluetooth mode as well, but as I struggle with my mouse here because the Apple Mac has a really kind of dodgy USB wireless mouse situation, and I don't know what it is. I've never come across this with any other computer. Most of the things that the new iMacs do. So let's take a step back. If you're new to the channel, I was a PC guy. I was a PC guy from 1992 to 2020. So I had a big time period where I was a PC guy. What is that, 28 years? Yeah. So I was a PC guy for 28 years. I bought my first Mac last year, the Mac M1 Mini. I bought the absolute base model, the absolute lowest specs, as an experiment because I'm like, hey, I'm a big iPad guy, I'm a big iPhone guy. Maybe I should give this a try. And yes, I did use that voice when I was. That's my brain. That's how my brain sounds. Maybe I should give it a try. And so I gave it a try because for like $1,100, I bought it and I tried it. And it worked really well. Yes, there were some teething issues. I had problems with my screens, with my dual monitor setup. I had problems with my dongles. Don't ever want to have problems with your dongles. Problems with dongles. And the one problem that's just never gone away is the problem with Bluetooth and even USB mouse and keyboard. Sometimes it'll just freeze up and it's almost like and then it just goes again. And I know it's not just me. I've spoken to folks like Thomas Christ. He's had the same issue with his Mac M1 and a bunch of other people. Apparently, it's a driver thing. Apparently, in the new version, Monterey, they're going to address some of these Bluetooth and USB issues. So I'm fingers crossed. And the reason I mentioned that for this is that I hope, yes, we hope for some new Apple Mac announcements in October or November when Apple are going to do their next announcement. I know, it's like they just did an announcement and released a bunch of stuff and they got another one. But there is a plan that they're going to do another announcement. They're going to release a bunch of hopefully Apple Macs using the M1X or the M2 or whatever they're going to call that. And these are going to be the more pro level ones. So the reason I'm sitting here, you're like, Pete, you should be buying something better, buddy. Yeah, because I've got the 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gig SSD. Yeah, I don't want to upgrade yet because I could go to like the 2 terabyte 16 gig Mac Mini, and then guess what? Next month they're going to bring out the Mac Mini Pro, which is going to have like, the 16 gig of RAM or 32 gig of RAM and a faster processor and all the rest. So I am just waiting to see what those announcements are. The other thing is I kind of need a new laptop. I've realized that at the moment I'm running with the iPhone. So my current setup is iPhone 12 Pro, which is probably 60% of what I use. And then about 20%, not even that, probably 10% on my iPad Pro, because that's kind of my music making machine. And then about 30% of what I do is on the Mac Mini, because I do a lot of live streaming, a lot of recording and things here. So I am thinking if I had a laptop that I could use elsewhere, I'd probably be more productive. But I don't really want to have a laptop that I have to bring back and dock here in the studio and do things with. So, yeah, what it'll probably be for me, what I'm thinking is I hope that they release a Mac Mini that I can spec out and just sort of really invest in that for like the next 5 years with like an M1X or an M2 or whatever that chip's going to be called. And then I can buy myself like the cheapest MacBook Air, because I know that the 8 gigabytes of RAM and the 256 gigabyte hard drive would be absolutely fine for me on a MacBook Air that I can just throw in my backpack and take with me wherever I go. So that's kind of my plans. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's excited about Macs. If you are thinking of buying a Mac, again, I don't care about the whole. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm Team Mac, I'm Team Apple, I'm Team PC. It's like, you don't owe your allegiance to any of these companies unless they're paying you, unless they're sponsoring you or paying you, or you've got some stake in it, you're in shares in the company. Why? I don't understand fanboy and fangirlism where you're like, oh man, I can't believe anyone would use a Windows PC. I'm a Macintosh user. And that's the voice that you have to use. Because just use what works for you. Yeah. And let other people use what works for them. And yeah, you don't owe anything to the companies that make the stuff. But apparently there's people on both sides of the fence that are like, yeah, it's got to be all about the thing. And they struggle because of the Musinformation that they're given. And yes, that's a segue. Who says I can't do segues? I'm all about the segues. I wanted to talk about Jesse Cannon over at Musinformation. Let's correct that, shall we? Musinformation, which is it's a reason why I went with Studio Live today, because as soon as you create a channel where you've got a word that's kind of not a word, and I had this problem when I released an album called Selfish Aware, self bracket ish end bracket aware. It really makes it difficult, makes it hard for things like search engine optimization. But I'm pretty sure, and again, I'm bad with names today. I think it was my man Dan Ekberg that put me on to Jesse, because in the last show I talked about Damien Keys, because I'm at the point now where I'm starting to promote my music more. I'm terrible at self-promotion. Can I get a show of hands of anyone that's really bad at self-promotion? Yeah, it's a bit of a problem that a lot of us creative types have, which is that we are so worried. Like there's two types of people. We'll jump over there. We'll talk about Jesse in a moment, but there's two types of people that I come across in the music scene. One is the people that, and I know I'm going to say what I usually say, but the people that just get out there and they just spam groups and chats and everything. Play my fire beat. Oh my God, my beats are so 100 that you're going to be blown away. They write their bio and it's like, the greatest young hip hop producer ever to set foot on earth. And so there's people that are like that. But then the vast majority of us, of the rest of us, seem to be so worried about being that guy that we end up not promoting ourselves at all. So it's this weird thing where no one's actually just doing a smart way of promoting what they should, being humble, but knowing their market, knowing their demographic, and actually promoting themselves to people that are going to dig their music. So that's why I'm trying to learn some more. I'm learning from Damien Keys. And again, my man Dan Ekberg said, you need to check out Musinformation. And I watched this video and I'm like, okay, clickbaity title, how to go from 0 to 10,000 fans, building a fan base for musicians. And then I'm watching the video and I'm listening to it and I'm like, this dude's making total sense. He talks about community. He talks about having people around you. He talks about the whole two-way thing that I talk about. He talks about investing time in conversations. He talks about not spamming, but instead not just going to people's songs and then in the comment section of their YouTube videos going, top tune, brah. Now come check out my fly beats. No one talks like that anymore. No one ever talks like that. But yeah, it's a really, really good channel. So I'm going through and I'm starting to binge a lot of the content there because there's a heap of good stuff. I'm watching this whole playlist that's there. And it's really good stuff. And I think the more you can learn, look, I'm not going to agree with everything that he says. I don't agree with everything Damien Keys says. Sometimes I look at myself from a month ago and I don't agree with what I said. So you're not going to agree with everything. And it's not about that. It's about taking that. Like I did a video earlier in the week. It was the 20 ideas, 20 tips for music promotion. And I got them from my experience, other people's experience, what I've come across. And I just put them out there. Now, no one's going to take all 20 of those and go, I'm going to tick, tick, tick. I'm doing everything Pete told me to do. Oh, no, I'm not a millionaire. What went wrong? But you might get 1 or 2 ideas or 3 or 4 or maybe 7 or 8 ideas that will work. And that's the thing. The more education you do, the more people you listen to, as long as you got that critical thinking filter over the top and you're not just going, oh, that person said that, so now I'm doing that. Oh, but this person said this. Don't just chase the ball around, but actually stop and think about it and go, right, there's some good ideas here. Maybe some will work, maybe some won't. So go and check out Musinformation. I just love saying Musinformation. Now that I know how to say it and get it right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, hashtag clickbait. You don't want the clickbait. It's never cool. It's never cool. Yeah, Joe Glenn knows where it's at, right? Guzzo, deep gravity. Yeah, no, you know what's going on. Alrighty. I'd consider a Mac Mini for Cubase. There you go. I am actually. So here's a little side note. I'm jumping back. The reason I'm setting up my Mac Mini shut up here and I'm getting myself all prepared here is that in October I'm doing. I went out to my audience here and said, hey, you guys must be totes sick of GarageBand, yeah? And people went, no, more GarageBand. So I'm like, okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, I meant to do it in Songtember, but I kind of got a bit sidetracked with getting a song done. But in October, I'm going to be exploring GarageBand on the Mac in a lot more detail, but also how we can use GarageBand on Mac in with the iOS setup as well. So using things like Logic Remote with GarageBand Mac and sending projects to and from iOS and Mac. So I really think there is a really good workflow that I haven't quite found that I think will work well for me because I do a lot of music production on the go on my iPad and iPhone. And then when I get back here to the studio, being able to send it to the Mac, having my studio all set up here, I still don't have a place for my keyboard. That's the holy grail thing. I need like a desk. I need one of those drawers that I can just have my MIDI keyboard underneath here, but then my legs would be too high, and I don't know. I don't use a MIDI keyboard a lot, but when I want it, I just want it here. So I usually just take my keyboard away and replace this with my MIDI keyboard and play that way. So maybe that's what we need to do. But the point being that I'm going to do that in October because in November, I've had a lot of people saying, when are you going to learn Logic? When are you going to show us Logic? You need to check out Logic. Pete, Logic. And I'm like, yep, sure, fine. Okay, you win. So in November, I'm going to start focusing in on Logic as well. So over the next couple of months, we're going to be doing a lot more with the Mac. So we're still going to do a heap of stuff on iOS. Don't freak out if you're an iPad or an iPhone aficionado and that's what your jam is. We'll still be doing plenty with that, but we're also going to be exploring the wonderful world of Macintosh as well. This mouse is really not working well at all. It's really struggling. And the receiver's just over there, but I think because it's between this and there's a mixer, there's an interface, there's a speaker, there's an iPad, it's just not sending the signal. It's like it's literally a meter and a half away. It's shorter than my length. I could lay down and it'll be shorter than that, but it's not cool because it keeps glitching, and I don't know quite what to do about that. I think I need to maybe pull the USB hub and put the USB hub on this side of the desk so it's closer, or do something. Throw it at the wall? Yeah, we'll give it a go. Hello, Sion. Yes, we have an early morning show. Yeah, this is a show that our friends in the UK and Europe and Australia can actually see us, not in an ungodly hour. Isn't that fun? Let's move on to our next thing. This is an interesting topic. I just thought that this was something that I wanted to talk about here. I'm looking for a new boom arm. So this is one that my man Mike at Creative Source recommended to me when we were first starting out, like really early on when I first started doing live streaming. And he got one of these and he's like, it's on eBay, it's $20. You should just buy one. And I'm like, sure. And I bought one. And that lasted me like over a year. And I bought a second one as a spare because I know what these things are like. So I just bought a second one. First one snapped and broke and the spring flew across the room. So I replaced it with this one. This one will snap and break and the spring will fly across the room at some stage soon. So I'm actually shopping for a mic boom arm. And I just mentioned this because I know a lot of other folks are looking for mic stands and a boom arm. I found it's actually really cool for not just for doing live streaming like this, but I use this. I just put whatever mic I'm using in here, and then I can have this as the microphone I use when I'm recording as well. So if I just swap this out with my Shure SM57, I can position it in front of stuff in my guitar. I can swap it out with my AT2020 because it's just got a normal standard screw on there. So a mic boom arm is actually a pretty handy piece of kit. If you've got a desk that you're actually using, rather than pulling out a mic stand and standing it up and making sure it's balanced right, and if you've got a heavy microphone, it might fall down. I think boom arms are kind of where it's at. So I'm going to find myself a good boom arm. Now, the boom arm that everyone goes for is the old Rode. Now, what is it? The PSA one? I can tell I'm still learning. I've come over here to Tom Buck because he knows his stuff. And he's got a video here all about cheap versus expensive boom arms. So mine looks just like that, except it's even worse. Like it's really clunky. And it's not cool. So I am going to go and invest a little money. So thank you to my patrons. Because it's probably going to be my September Patreon donations are going to go to a new mic boom arm so that my microphone doesn't fall down and we can be more efficient. But yeah, the cool thing about this is that I can bring it up here. You can move it around really quickly. And if I'm like singing, I can do that. I can stand up. I won't completely stand up. I'm wearing shorts. No one needs to see that. But you can really quickly get things into position and just line them up and it just sticks there and goes. So it's actually fine, but I just think I need a new one. So if anyone has any tips, if anyone's using one that they think is cool, send me links, folks. Pete@studiolivetoday.com. I'm always there on my emails, and I'm actually almost up to date on emails too. I know, it's weird. Who would have thunk it? Let's move on to, we are in the middle of the show, so let's move on to midpoint motivation. And that's what we talk about each week. Oh, my mouse is really just starting to bug me. Apple, fix your USB friggin' mouse driver. Midpoint motivation this week is going to be about community. Throughout Songtember, and I know I'll keep calling it that, throughout September, Songtember, I've been blown away by how cool the community is. There's a few things that I wanted to mention here that have really motivated me, and why I think that when you compare going it alone with being part of a community, there's absolutely no comparison here. Because when you're doing things alone, you're looking for feedback, you don't have it. You're trying to fill your blind spots, you don't have it. You're feeling low and need some motivation, need someone to pick you up, you don't have it. You're feeling good and you want to celebrate, you don't have it. All of those things we've seen throughout September. And I know that some people are going to be sitting there feeling a bit bad that they didn't get a song done or they didn't finish their song or whatever. Don't feel bad because you've still been part of the community and you'll do it again next year or next month. Like, that's the thing. Some of the best stuff. I think it was last year that Jade, her Metheist song, which I know she doesn't rate, but it's actually one of my favorites that she's done. It wasn't quite done by the 30th of September. And it was like, the 3rd or 4th of October that it was released. And she had a cool video for it. She finished the song and I'm like, this is epic. And it goes to show that, yeah, it's good to have that positive time pressure and aim for something. And the reason that I do the whole song in a month thing, some people, you might not be able to make a song in a month. You might not have time, energy, inclination. That's cool. But I bet a lot of you did more this month than you would have if you didn't have that time pressure. And that's the sort of thing I want to think about. That's the community that will help you along. It's why there's things. It's why Alcoholics Anonymous exists. It's why Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers exist. It's why people go down to the pub and go into footy tipping pools and whatever else. Having other people around you and having a community to lean on when the going gets tough can really help you out. So I don't know why I wanted to rant on that, because if you're here at this show, you're part of the Creator Town Hall, you're probably already a member of things like the Facebook group and other things. But yeah, I'm just saying that a lot of people come to me and they're like, Pete, can you do this for me? Pete, can you help me with this? And I'm like, I can a lot of the time, but when I can't, I'm one person. Create, Record, Release Facebook group, 1,000 people, and there'll be people there that are going to be able to help you out. So do lean on your community. It'll help you when things are good, and it'll help you even better when things are not going so great. Hello to I have an idea. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Deep Gravity said, I struggled, but was adamant I was going to get it done this year. Good job. Good on you, Cam. Good work. But again, if you didn't get there, so be it. Shit happens. Sorry, I don't usually swear, but it happens. Barry Glenn says, the one I have is a bit clunky. The screw has screw adjustments, but quite stable. Could do with something a little heavier. Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, this one's actually pretty good as well. Like, you can screw it up nice and tight, and it's not going anywhere. But it could definitely be a little bit better. I would be if I did Facebook. And that's the thing. You don't have to do Facebook either. We've actually had people that have joined the Facebook group that don't do Facebook. And that's the thing. I didn't do TikTok. And then I did. And it was fine. I don't do TikTok like other people do TikTok. And you don't have to do Facebook like other people. Use it. Use and abuse Facebook for what you want. Use it to get what you want out of it. I've said this before. Create a profile that's completely private that's just for music, and then just join some cool music groups. Don't tell Auntie Mavis, because she'll want to see pictures of the cats, but just join for music. Or don't. That's the thing. There's other communities too. There's Reddit. I'd probably stay away from Reddit communities. They get a bit toxic sometimes. But hey, maybe that's just my judgment. There's Discord. Hey, guess what? I just started a Discord server. Yeah, I know. I'm learning. I'm an old, but I'm learning how to be a young. So maybe we'll get that up and running soon. All right, with that little nugget out there, let's move on, because I do have to get over. We are going to talk about live music shows. Yeah, that's the title. How much am I burying the lead? You're like there, when is John's getting to the live music shows that he put in the title? What a clickbaiter. We'll get there. Let's talk live streaming for a moment. So as you know, as you've seen here, I use StreamYard, and the benefit of using StreamYard is exactly what you saw at the start of the show. When you're doing live streaming, being able to have multiple different camera angles. And when we jump over in 30 minutes time, when I ask you to come and join me over on Mike's channel on Creative Source for Featured Artist Live, you'll see the power of that, because myself and the Lonely Rocker and Mike will all be able to get together. Mike's going to play some tunes. We're going to listen to them. We're going to give some feedback. You're all going to be there. It's going to be a rockin' time. So live streaming is actually really cool. But there's more than going to cut, and there's more than one way to live stream. And whether you're live streaming to play your own music, whether you're live streaming to do behind the scenes, doing interviews, just having a yarn, doing a Q&A, whatever you want to do, you can do it in a bunch of ways. It can be as simple as grabbing your phone and using something like Streamlabs, which is really cool, mobile platform for doing that. You can use StreamYard on your phone too. It could be that you get yourself a webcam set up and you do something like this. You could be using OBS, the Open Broadcaster software, which is free, but has a bit of a steeper learning curve. Or you can use a web-based platform like StreamYard or Melon or Restream. So I mentioned before that because I use StreamYard, but I'm not beholden to StreamYard. They are not a sponsor of the show. And one of the challenges I have with StreamYard is that here I am here right now streaming on this show here. I've got all my other shows set up for the weekend, but every time I set up a new show, I basically have to set it up from scratch. I also can't add tags to the shows. I can't set whether they're monetized or not, which is a pain. A lot of the YouTube options that I want to include in there are not available. So it's a lot of different work, a lot of extra work for me to do that. Whereas if I used just straight into YouTube, I can have all the defaults in there. So it is a little bit clunkier. The other big player in here at the moment is Restream. And if we go to, it's Restream.io, isn't it? So Restream.io, which is the other major streaming platform that we'll jump into here. So here's my Restream. Actually, I haven't checked my dashboard for a while. I better come over here because it might give some information. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's lost most of my accounts, but I'll be trying this one out, and I'll be trying it with my patrons in the next couple of days. So if you are a patron, then you can come and join me and help me test out some new live streaming and just see, like, is it going to work better? It might be worse. It might be better. But if you don't try, you don't know. And I want to try so I can know. Whoever I said good day to, Abu Habib. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And I will get rid of your comment once my mouse allows me to. This is just... I don't usually get frustrated by things, but you know what it's like when you're trying to click things and it just doesn't do it. Not fun. Let's talk about Lightning versus USB, and the reason I wanted to talk about this is that I can't find it now. Where is it? No, it's linked down below. I don't have the video up here. But the latest Mac Break Weekly, they had a really interesting chat with Andy Ihnatko, Renee Ritchie, Leo Laporte, and they talked about the next iPhone. And I wanted to get your views on this. If you're watching live or if you're on the replay, do you think that Apple are really going to get rid of the Lightning jack? And if they do, are they going to go to USB-C, or are they just going to remove it all entirely and go with wireless? So the rumor for a long time has been that the iPhone probably 14 will go completely portless, meaning that not only will they not have a lightning jack like the iPhone 12 or the iPhone 13, but they'll only have the ability to charge wirelessly. Now, they may have something like a smart connector like your iPads do that will then create sort of like a wired connection that you can then dongle up and turn into something like a Lightning or a USB-C connection. Maybe just the mini and the regular 13 will not have the port, and the 13 Pros will still have a port. But here's the thing. The question is, will they, because there's going to be a lot of engineering that will go into changing up from Lightning to USB-C on an iPhone. So are they going to go to all that effort if they're just going to take them away anyway? It's a good question, and they asked about that. And the other thing is that the European Union has put a lot of pressure at the moment, and they are continuing to put pressure on Apple, saying that there needs to be, or not just Apple, but everyone saying that USB-C needs to be the standard. Now, USB-C is not great. It is probably the most confusing standard to use for your devices because USB-C and Thunderbolt use the same plug. There's about 17 different types of USB-C cables. Some will just charge, some will do charge and data, some will work with some devices, some will work with others, some support fast charging and turbocharging, some don't. So it's a bit of a dog's breakfast when it comes to trying to get the right cable for the right job for the right device. So I don't think USB-C is the be-all and end-all, but it is better than micro and mini USB or USB-A. At least you can plug it in upside down or the right way up and it's still the same, a bit like Lightning. And universal is still better than having a bunch of different stuff. So a lot of people are saying Apple won't ever get rid of Lightning because they make too much money on proprietary stuff. Yes, but as Jade says this a lot, and I've said this before, Apple are not afraid to cannibalize one of their markets if they think it's going to be profitable in another. So they'll get rid of something if they're going to make enough money to make up for it doing something else. So, and they've done this with iPads. So there is only one iPad. The one sitting over there is the only iPad left with Lightning. It's also the only one left with a headphone jack. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one to see what happens with the next round of iPads. Will we still see Lightning, or will Lightning be like the dodo and a thing of the past? I do hope they do go USB-C. I'm just not holding my breath. That's the problem. Times two. Hello to you. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, those over on the East Coast in the US are probably just waking up. If you're on the West Coast, you're probably still snoozing. I actually charge over the charge. USB-C is actually working out fine. Yeah. Over the Lightning change. Yeah, exactly. So USB-C is great for my iPad here. So these days, I'm using this little sucker, this Atola USB-C hub. And, when you've got a Lightning-based thing, you have to use the genuine Apple Lightning to USB 3 adapter. It's about twice as much as this, so that's like a $39 thing. I think this is about $20. And this one just has USB has HDMI, VGA for some reason, but it also has USB on the back there and USB-C. So it can do power pass-through. It can plug into my hub. So I plug this straight into my 10-DAC powered hub for all of my devices. So my drives and my audio interface and microphones and MIDI keyboards. And then, I can even plug HDMI out there and export that. So it's a very simple way to just dongle up and get things done. Yes, Gregory, that's exactly right. So the European Union is basically saying, we want you to do this. They haven't quite mandated yet, but they're planning to / trying to. So they're in discussions and Apple is saying, we don't want to. And they're like, yes, you have to. So we'll see. We'll see who wins out of those two. The European Union are like, as long as we don't have to deal with Brexit anymore, I suppose we'll deal with you. I don't know. Let's move on because we've got about 10 minutes to go before we finish up here. New music this week. I've decided I wanted to talk about some new music, and I've come across a couple of tunes this week that have been one that is one of my favourite artists of all time, and it's a very interesting music video. I can't really play it because I did a test run. We'll jump over here. This is what it looks like, but that's all I'm going to play. It's Ben Lee, and it's called Born for This Bullshit. And it's a very cool song, a very cool video. He's a very cool artist. And if you're not aware of Ben Lee, he's an Australian artist, and he does good things. He was the Cigarettes Will Kill You guy. He did the We're All in This Together that many of you would know. He's done a lot of good songs. And I saw him live at the start of the year, back when live music was a thing here in Australia. It's going to struggle again for a little while. But yeah, he's a great artist, and he's doing good things. And if you want to check out that song, down in the description, jump in there and check it out. The other one that I wanted to mention here is a band that I was put onto by... I am spacing on the names of the people that put me onto things now. It was Ed Z. There you go. I remembered. Ed Z put me onto a band called Wet Leg, and their song called Wet Dream. Now, this thing has an awesome video. It looks really, really cool. I'll just flick through here. Very well produced, great video, but a really good song. Punky, poppy kind of tune. Sounds great. Again, I can't play it for you here. I have reached out to them and said, hey, I do a show called Your Music Live. Can I play your tune? So we'll see. We'll see if they say yes to that. But yeah, a couple of really cool tunes there this week. And again, I apologize. And even with I know it's fair use and I'm promoting them and all that sort of jazz, but it'll block this video. You won't be able to watch it. I did a test run on the Ben Lee track, and I streamed myself playing a piece of it, and it said, this will be blocked for 48% of your audience. So it would have let you watch it in the US, but it would have blocked it for Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and everywhere else. So you'll just have to go and explore it and watch it yourself. So check out Ben Lee and Wet Leg. And I've just realized both of those are 2-word artists with 3 letters in both of their words. Ben Lee, Wet Leg. Sorry, I like things like that. If you do have any questions, I realize that I didn't mention this, but if you do have any questions that you would like to ask, please go ahead and do ask them. Just put the word question in here. We got about 5-ish minutes to go, so we can answer any final questions before we finish up here. Michael, aka Zealand Band, I hope you are doing very well here, my friend. And good morning from Brooklyn. So yes, just waking up. Breakfast in Brooklyn there for the Blue World music. I hope you are doing well. The last topic that we have here tonight, and once again, there are links down in the show notes to everything we've talked about here today if you want to catch up and watch the whole videos. I like doing this show because I take in stuff. So people send me stuff and then I look at it and I watch it and then I put it out to you folks. So hopefully if you're waking up in the US and it's too early for you when we do this show live, you can check the links down below. You can watch this show and then you can go and spend a couple of hours digging about and listening to the new music, checking out the videos that we recommend here and having a good old time. So thank you for that. If you're having fun here too, by the way, and you're here live, hit the thumbs up. Watching on the replay, we love you too. Drop your comments down below if you've got anything you want to ask or say. Live music shows have kind of taken over the world in the last year, and I'm not going to say, hey, this was my concept and everyone's copying me, because it's 100% not true. I got the concept from looking at a lot of the live shows that were out there that I thought were not really doing it the right way. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about the shows like the show that I do on this channel called Your Music Live. So every week I do a show called Your Music Live. It is 2 hours of live music, and I'm just going to find it here. Here's this week's episode. We're doing a big Song Timber special this week. So it's linked down in the description. So we do 2 hours of music, and I play 1 or 2 minutes of each song. We have a chat, we have a good old time, and we're promoting artists. So if you're an artist, you can submit your song here, studiolivetoday.com/YML. You fill in the form. I go through, I curate it a little bit. Let's be honest, I play about 90% of the songs. As long as they're not super violent or super profane, then I'll play them. And then, we put all the links in the description and you check them all out. Now, the reason I started this show is that I saw a lot of these shows that were reaction shows, or they were the pay-to-play shows. So there would be people, there'd be someone sitting there and they'd be like, hey, pay me $20 and I'll react to your song. And I'm like, that doesn't seem cool to me. I don't like the idea of payola and pay to play. There's enough shysters out there doing pay to play. And look, if you want to do that, more power to you. If you can make a business and if you can do that and you're fine with it and you do it in a cool way, whatever. But I wanted to do it a bit differently. When I started this show, I then realized that other people were doing similar shows. So that's why I say, look, I'm not the OG, and I'm going, oh, why is everyone? It's just a cool idea, because the more people playing more music, and different presenters will have a different attitude. And that's why I wanted to go through these here today, because we've got a bunch of these shows, and there's different presenters, and they have different ways of doing things. So let's start with our friend here, which is Mr. Thomas Christ. Yes, he's one of the moderators on the channel. He's probably snoozing right now, so because he's over there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it's like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning. But Thomas, when you get up, if you watch this replay, you rock, and you do a show called You Rock, which is only 4 episodes in. But Thomas is doing a really good job. He's playing people's tunes. He's having a good time. He's got a good community there and has a lot of fun. So if you want your song playing on Thomas's channel, and here's the thing, all you need to do with most of these shows is just jump down to the description. They'll tell you how you submit a track. So there you go. bit.ly, You Rock Submit. And you can submit your song to Thomas. So good job, Thomas. Keep doing what you're doing, my friend. And you can look at the different times. It's different times in different time zones, so it's hard to say it's at this time. But go and check the description and follow the link to see where that is at. Mr. Ron Ward is doing 2 shows now. He's doing GBU Live. Ron is a cool dude. He's a US dude living in Ho Chi Minh City and streaming live. He does his shows around about this time on a Wednesday and a Friday night. So yesterday and tomorrow. So if you're chilling here watching this show live, Ron would have been yesterday and Ron will be tomorrow. And it's a cool show. It's a good time. Again, he plays a lot of cool songs, very much in tune with the Facebook group. So the GarageBand users Facebook groups. He plays a lot from the Create, Record, Release Facebook group, which I know a lot of you are part of. So a really good old time if you are into your live music shows with Mr. Ron Ward. The metalhead Emma effing hippie. Now, I did not know about Jeff and the Metalhead Hippie Show. There's Jeff doing his thing. I did not know about Jeff and the Metalhead Hippie Show before I started doing Your Music Live. And then it just turned out that we kind of crossed paths, and he's like, oh, he's doing kind of the same sort of thing. Here's the difference. He plays the entire song of everyone, and his streams, look at that stream length, 7.5 hours. So when I go and watch the Metalhead Hippie Show, I'll tune in my lunch break, and then I'll come back and we'll 3 shows, and we came, hang on. What have we got here? 3 shows. Sorry, did I miss something here? 3 shows. That's right. We had the problem with Ron last night that we had. He did have a few technical issues last night. I was like, why is everyone saying 3 shows? 3 shows, and we came back. Yeah, exactly. So Ron did have that. But yeah, go over and check out the Metalhead Hippie, because he does what we do here on Your Music Live, but he does it in a really unique way. He's got another great community over there. He plays your tunes. And the problem I had early on is I'm like, oh, I don't do much metal. And he's the Metalhead Hippie, but he's into all sorts of music. So you don't have to just be a metalhead. You don't have to just be producing metal. If you've got a cool tune and you want it played, you can jump over there to the Hippie Show. And hello, Russ, by the way. I didn't see you sneak in there, but I hope you are doing well. Good stuff. Mimo Japan, see you later. Cheers. Yes, Mimo Japan is one of Mike's moderators, and it's a good timing that we talk about that, because guess what? Yeah, guess who else is doing a live music show? Yeah, it's our man, Mike at Creative Source, who's saying he's just prepping there. Say hi when you arrive and let me know where you are. Hi, Mike. I'm in Adelaide and I'm running a little late. There you go. I'll let Mike know that I'll be there soon because I'm a guest on Mike's show in 10 minutes' time, which means we're going to have to run in a moment. Yeah, there he is. There's our man, Mike. And Mike's show is also sponsored by DistroKid, who are an amazing group of folks, and they are a sponsor of this channel and a sponsor of the Your Music Live show as well. So we are indeed going to finish up there because that's going to do us. Put a fork in us. We are done. I thought that was some interesting topics here tonight. If you thought they were interesting too, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up button. Pretend that you're going to hit the notification bell and then just don't and ignore it, because that's what I do, and that's honestly what most people do. So that's cool. But come in every day. Just go to YouTube every day and search Pete John's new stuff and then see what comes up. I don't know. Something like that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone who's been here live. Thank you to the moderators here on the channel. You do a wonderful job. Thank you to everyone for all of your kindness. Now, what you need to do now, I'll put the link right here in the chat. So if you're here live, you can go here. If you're watching on the replay, just jump down to the description and you're going to be able to find a link over to Featured Artists Live, where I'm going to be hanging out in just a few moments. We're going to be listening to undoubtedly some very, very cool tunes, and you get to look at Mike's beautiful face and rock and chain. Look how cool he is. Earring, chain, he's got the works. That's it, folks. Thanks for being here. Please be kind to yourself this week. I want you to do that. Please be kind to others. Happy Songtember. 'Tis almost over. And I will catch you for Your Music Live Songtember edition, which is coming up Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 7 a.m. for the poor folks on the east coast of Australia. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I'll see you soon. Bye.